everybody, and welcome to a special edition of Lawdog Sports. It's not the Weekend Big Show, it's the Championship Edition show right here with myself, Chuck Ramsey, the Lawdog, and ruler of the airways, and mega Oklahoma City Thunder fan, Jeremy Schroeder. Jeremy, whatever you want to do on this next 20, 25 minutes, bud, it is your prerogative.
Just want to get my mind off something that's bugging me. So, you know what?
Yeah, you are being afflicted as we speak, and
Yes.
Our sympathies for you on that, bud. And man, many prayers through that. But anyways, it's got to be a little bit of consolation to know that your team, the Oklahoma City Thunder, are now possessors of the Larry O'Brien Trophy. They are world champions of the National Basketball Association. What a game! What a series! What a season!
You know, after KD left, I honestly didn't think I'd ever see this day.
Yes.
And I just want to thank a few people are responsible for this. Sam Presti for having the wherewithal to blow it up when he did. And Paul George for being playoff P and realizing that he's not that guy and asking for a trade out of town, which landed Oklahoma City Thunder Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who's the first guy in 25 years to win the league MVP and the finals MVP.
And the scoring title.
And the scoring title.
Yep.
Man, who did that? Who did that in 1990?
25 years? Would it have 25
that would
years?
Have been Michael Jeffrey Jordan.
How long ago? 25?
25.
He wasn't. He didn't win a final.
1997.
It'd have been Kobe. A little bit of celebration in the hallway of the Ramsey studios. So, anyways, my wife Gina is very excited about this final.
Yeah, that would have been 2000. You're probably right. That is Kobe.
Yeah, that would I would assume that would be Kobe,
which is fitting because that's
or would it have been Shaq?
Man, league MVP, scoring title, and finals MVP.
Yeah. So they said 25 years, so it's been a long haul. That would be a Lakers championship team because wasn't it the Pacers they beat 25 years ago?
Maybe.
I'm trying to piece it together. The post game on ABC as we speak. Stephen A. Smith, Kendrick Perkins, and what's Bob's name? What's the Golden State former GM's name?
Oh gosh, I'm not sure.
Anyways, farewell to Doris Burke and hopefully farewell to Richard Jefferson. I tell you what, I put it out on social media, Jeremy. By the way, for those of you who've been living under a rock for the last 5 hours, the Oklahoma City Thunder defeat the Indiana Pacers 103-91. They trailed by 1 point at the half. They had a rough go offensively in the first half, but really got going again in that third quarter. And then also without remiss, a shout out to Tyrese Halliburton, just such an awful injury to end his season. And in the very last game of the season when he was really coming out on fire. I mean,
shout out to the ESPN producer that kept showing his calf pop.
Yeah. That detachment. And I thought, well, they said he had calf tightness basically all series long.
Yeah. Kevin Durant had that.
Yeah. And
maybe guys will stop playing on that injury.
That's got to be something. But I mean, if that thing's going to pop, is it going to get is it going to get better? I mean, with it,
he's not going to play
through the offseason. No, he's out next year.
He's out next year. You're going to have a season without Halliburton, Dame Lillard, and who else is missing next year? Jason Tatum.
Yep.
So you got three of the big stars in the NBA, whether we like it or not, or whether they've been pushed on us or not.
No, I mean it's
not playing.
Yeah, it's three huge stars, and I hearken back to the 2000 national title game, national championship for Oklahoma. That was a season that the injury bug just totally steered clear of that.
Oh, I know.
And really, this Oklahoma City Thunder team is deep, but once Chet Holmgren got healthy, nobody else has really dealt. Now, I guess they're saying Jalen Williams has a wrist issue that might have been presenting itself. He played through it, but man, kudos to Tyrese Halliburton for trying to go. They probably don't make it to Game 6 if he's held out like he probably should have.
They probably don't make it to Game 6 if Daignault doesn't get smart and pull the double big lineup.
Yeah. But anyways, I tell you, first half, I was sitting there thinking to myself, what's the point of having two bigs in if they can't get rebounds and they can't make easy buckets? I was I was a little
that got rectified after the halftime adjustments.
A little bit, and that's something going forward. And I hate to be, got the guy that looks toward next year already, but they're not my team, so no, I rooted for them throughout the whole playoffs. But the thing about it is, Jeremy, is that squad. I mean, I know Halliburton was a presence. I know TJ McConnell dang near kept that team single-handedly in the game, but I don't see that Thunder team giving it up tonight on their home court. I mean, whoever the haters will say the injury is what won the title for the Thunder. No, they could have gotten the job done. It's Game 7. That gym is totally different than anywhere else.
Yeah, and they didn't really start struggling in the second half till they started the full court press again.
Yeah,
and that really all that did was prevent OKC from getting into any sets. So they were getting the ball past midcourt and then having to make a play.
Yeah. Well, it was an interesting game in the fact that, like I said, just offense is just hard to come by through significant spurts of games for that team. But obviously defensively, they can, the fact that they played so horrendously offensively in the first half and they were only down 1 and really had the lead, except for a last second shot there by the Pacers. But, I would say this, Jeremy, your team shoots 27% from 3 and 40% from the field. I'd have a hard time picking them to win a Game 7, even at home.
Well, when you lead the turnover battle 21-7,
that's it.
That tends to make up for it.
That was huge. And 14 steals to 6, and
and there was a very light whistle in this game.
It was physical. They banged around. Matherin seemed to really be able to draw the contact and get to the line a lot there late. But I think that was kind of honestly, as much as they withstood the TJ McConnell parade, they did seem to be realizing that, hey, we'll settle for him trying to get a contested 2 over kicking it out to a 3.
Definitely. You will always take a 2 over a 3.
Yeah. And the closest they cut it was 10 there in the fourth quarter.
I think it was 96-86.
Yeah. So then you're also talking about the Pacers had been spoken of all season long about their offense and how when they score, what was it, 110, they were in essence undefeated. Well, I mean, well below that, and really they just scored some several buckets late. Pascal Siakam, not a factor that I would have thought he would be in the second half, but
I thought they were going to feed him.
Yeah, but the Thunder probably, do a lot of things. If you broke down the tape, you could see that they do a lot of things to deny him any ease of access.
Yep, put the Caruso on him and be a pest.
Yeah, first half I was pretty worried the way he was coming out, even after the Halliburton injury, the things he did going into the halftime locker room. But, it shows that Mark Daignault is a coach about making adjustments. And I'm going to switch it over to I was behind, so I think I'm going to switch it over to Scott Van Pelt now.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah. Have you watched any of the NBA TV coverage with Barkley on the post game or anything like that?
No, I haven't.
Yeah.
Is that a YouTube offering?
NBA TV is on YouTube TV. I just haven't. I've stuck with Van Pelt, and that's probably where I'm at.
Well, Chuck was trying to give away his fortune on the Thunder, so I'd like to see him take his victory lap.
Yeah. Did you see Skip Bayless tweet out something stupid tonight about? I think he tweeted out about Halliburton.
Need to be more specific.
I believe Skip Bayless tweeted out, injury aside, you would have faltered or you would have fell out anyway or something like that. And it's like, I guess he tweeted it when he thought it was just like, a fall or something. And then, hey, dude, his freaking Achilles detached.
Oh my gosh. That's just awful. For a guy that is so good and doesn't really do anything that annoys you, you just hate to see that.
Yeah, it was sad to see. I mean, obviously that team, once he went out, they rode the emotion of getting back in it and, staying on top of, in the first half doing what they do. They weren't able to make the adjustments they needed in the second half without him out there.
No, it just kind of always felt like OKC would push it out to 5, they'd fight back. Push it out to 9, they'd fight back. But once OKC pushed it out past 10, that was ball game.
Well, at one time when it's what 23 in the fourth quarter,
they weren't able to. Indiana wasn't when they did stack stops. They were getting free throws. They weren't hitting threes.
The thing that just startled me so much about the second half, Jeremy, was the fact that even especially after the Halliburton injury, and he hit 3 big threes, in the first part of the game, but even after the injury, I mean, they go out there and Nembhard and those guys, they're just flinging it and making big buckets, and I was like, and I guess really, you tell me if I'm onto something. Daignault and the Thunder figured they're gonna withstand that ride and then punch them back in the nose.
That's kind of how I feel about it. It just seems like they're gonna concede a 3-pointer and eventually they're gonna cool off.
Yeah, and
we're just gonna do our thing. And when they were moving the basketball around, man, that was great. Dort hit some huge shots, had some big rebounds, but then again, I said this in the thread. Sometimes he needs to remember he's not Ray Allen.
Well, they're tied in the third, and they go on a 9-0 run, and I believe SGA had 2 big assists on that, and then that really kind of set the tone for the rest of the game.
Well, Indiana didn't score for like 8.5 minutes in the third quarter. I mean, at all.
Yeah, and so it was just it was the Thunder asserting themselves and saying, this is our house. This is our game to win. Hey, we're streaming live on Facebook at Lawdog Sports. We've got some viewers. We want your comments, and be sure and pitch in here on the air, and we will read it live as they come in. Give us a comment on the broadcast here. So Miles Turner, in essence, a non-factor to me for that team. Siakam, 36 minutes, 16 points, 4 rebounds. Neesmith and Nembhard with 15. Mathurin leads all Pacers with 24. McConnell with 16. But here's the big stat to me, Jeremy. Obi Toppin, no points.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to explain that. I just didn't see him do anything.
Yeah. Marty Wandry from Clinton Liquor checking in. I believe Giddy trade was one of the most important things to put the Thunder over the hump this season. That and the iHeart edition. While I was cussing him in the first half because he just could not seem to make a bucket nearby. But yeah, Caruso and the Giddy trade. You know what's funny, Jeremy, is there was times throughout the regular season Giddy would have a good game with the Bulls, and people are like, "Oh, Oklahoma City lost that trade,"
Well,
and then look where they're at.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, look where they're at now.
Yeah, you get rid of a guy that was a bit of a distraction, and you bring in like the ultimate glue guy.
Oh yeah. And then you think about this, and my fear was going into Game 7 for Thunder fans was that that somehow the athleticism of the Pacers, their length, would start, and then outside shooting ability would kind of start to replicate the Dallas series from last season. But they squelched that pretty quick.
Yeah, they did. And they didn't get a whole lot from outside of 2 guys on the bench. Got Caruso had 10 points, and Cason Wallace had some big buckets for his 10 points.
Oh yeah.
He had a nice corner 3, had a couple of nice putbacks on offensive boards.
Well, in the first half, Caruso was the only one that could hit 3.
I know. That's weird.
Steve Anderson checking in. Justin Goodnow, his friend, mentioned that in our lifetimes, we've seen the Thunder and Texas Rangers win championships. So that means Oklahoma State will win a natty next.
Well, you
never know.
Man,
donors.
Did we take some ayahuasca and sit in a dark room for a little bit before we formulated that
drinking that little Dixie Shine or something?
Listen, Steve, I have seen the Chicago Cubs won a World Series in my lifetime. Everything else is just icing on the cake.
Cameron Hall checking in. I've officially seen all my teams win a title, but this has to be the sweetest. So I'll just say this, Jeremy, and I've said this before, and you've probably heard it ad nauseum. I was a member of NBA security in 2012. I saw that team going through the playoffs, and I know that they were, riding high off the Spurs series, come back and win 4 straight. But, they dropped the ball so mightily. And then every time after that, when it seemed like they had the team that could make a run, it just didn't happen. And then you had the Golden State meltdown, and then it was losing players and the rebuild. And, you Thunder fans have been through it in a matter of 15 years.
Yeah, I know. What makes this title so much sweeter when you remember, the Isaiah Roby lineups and Okashevsky and Cameron's favorite Robert Swift.
Oh yeah. Hey, speaking of, now that you mentioned that, I was going through an old box, and I'll hold this up to the camera. There's a Thunder card that I got, I guess, for my boys somewhere, and put it away. Robert Swift.
Big
Red. So, and actually, I'm going to give you these eventually, because there's an Earl Watson. Ooh. There is a DJ White. Yeah, I thought there was a Desmond Mason. Kyle Weaver.
Is there a Lazar Hayward in there?
No, but Eton Thomas, I was hoping would be in there somewhere.
Tulsa's very own.
Nick Collison. Yeah, Booker T. Washington. Jeff Green. Hey, kudos to Jeff Green, man. He's probably still in the league, isn't he?
I think he is actually still in the league.
You talk about playing into the old age, but
that's ring with Cleveland. Was he on that LeBron team?
He might have been.
He got a ring somewhere.
Yeah. So post game, getting played in the Paycom Center down in Oklahoma City, and I'll say this: the Thunder also. The city of Oklahoma City deserved 4 home games through this series. They deserve to get all the tax benefits of lodging taxes and fees, and the city will hopefully get a big boost from all of the commerce generated from having a finals.
Definitely. And my hope is that we comport ourselves with a little decorum when we're out running the streets tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Remember when we got Thunder Alley shut down, kids?
That was a great thing that got ended. Good evening to Michael Busso checking in on Facebook Live, and then Cam Hall says he plays for Houston. Jeff Green and got a ring with Denver. So
okay,
was Jeremy Grant on that championship Denver team? I don't think he was.
I think he was already in Portland or Detroit at that time.
Jeremy Grant, another Thunder. What could have happened?
Yeah, I liked his game. He'd be great on this team. A big guy that can shoot threes.
Yeah, somebody 6'8", 6'9" that can defend.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and defense is what got this team their title throughout the whole season, throughout the playoffs, the first couple of rounds. Man, kudos to their defensive schemes, and if it's Daignault or whoever the assistant is, if it's whatever it is, they can really bring the funk for a certain amount of time in a game.
They did bring the funk tonight.
Yeah,
man, that third quarter, I didn't think they were ever going to score.
Yeah, it was. I didn't think it was ever going to end. I mean,
I was hoping they were never going to score. It's like we have a shutout in the quarter. Yeah.
The first 6 minutes of the fourth quarter, I just thought, my gosh, this is the longest I've ever seen. So, just a big win for the state of Oklahoma, a big win for the franchise. Now all of the naysayers and haters who, have been proven wrong, they can go deal with the offseason because the draft is just 3 days away.
Oh, and OKC's got 3 first-round picks.
Yeah. Now, not to look too far ahead and not to miss out on savoring the moment, by the way, 103-91. Can they sign anybody?
Well, they've got that Topic kid who, early reports on him he is fantastic.
Yeah.
So I don't think they can. So they're going to have to, I don't know. Maybe I think one of those picks conveys to next year. So they may only have 2.
Yeah.
And then maybe a draft night trade for I don't know what.
Yeah. It'll be interesting, and the scout team and the draft, the war room team will be hustling because not a lot of time to celebrate the championship. Which Jeremy, we're closer to the 4th of July than we are to Memorial Day.
I know.
So
the NBA season is a marathon.
Finally over, but no, Dagnall on with SVP now, and
I got Caruso on with on NBA TV.
I might. Okay. Well, yeah, if you'll scan that and keep an eye on that. Oklahoma City's finest in the background, I see. But anyways, you mentioned the celebration. Hopefully it will be, will be a peaceful and not too
responsible.
I don't want to see it. No offense to our super fan, Dan Narva. I don't want to see any East Lansing moments in Oklahoma City. And he knows I'm right. So
yeah, we just keep it safe, keep it clean, have fun. We want this to happen. Act like you've been there before, because I don't. If things break right, this might not be the last time.
No, and so we'll go ahead and transition into that, because I mean, really, and hey, on full disclosure, I will take my beating. I will take my lumps on all of the naysaying I did this season. And I just hope that none of it was developed out of actual dislike for your franchise. I like the Thunder. I love what they're doing right now. If the Spurs had not been my team since I was 11 years old, I'd be wearing a Thunder hat tonight. But I'll say this: I didn't feel like the script makers, the script writers, would let them win a title in this season, this young, small market. I would have thought that all the forces working against two small market teams, would have been, working against it in totality. But I'll say this. I never didn't support them, never didn't want them to succeed, never didn't want them to win the title. So, I'll take my lumps on that. But there's a lot of media, and I tell you something else, the play-by-play team, they're so god awful.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, well, there was a foul that they didn't call. Well, I think he might have traveled. It was probably a travel. Richard Jefferson is like a little snitch. Like he's trying, like maybe the NBA replay center is gonna hear him and whistle down. It's like, hey, you might want to look at that. I mean, it's just it was a ridiculous series of broadcasts. And
yeah, well, I hope the NBA on NBC does a much better job next year.
They've got to. And in the NBA on ESPN had its shot. It had what they needed. They had Jeff Van Gundy and Mark Jackson. I thought they did a fine job. I thought they had to call some lumps of series, but I mean, this was 7 games. This was excitement in essence the whole way through. And you get Dorish, on there, and then Jefferson with his nasally high pitch. And it was just like they could not stop glazing the Pacers all series long.
Well, hey, here's a quick question. Do you think now that the Thunder have won the NBA Finals, they'll get a Christmas Day game next year?
No, they won't. They won't
Maybe
be
more than 2 national TV broadcasts.
They won't be on any big national games. They'll be right back where they were, Jeremy. That's how things roll, because we've got the Lakers having been bought out by a billionaire, so they're going to get all their exposure.
Going to get to watch 41-year-old LeBron stumble around.
Exactly.
Fantastic.
And and then now, I mean, I saw on the graphic, and there they are celebrating with the champagne.
A fine champagne.
Champagne. And here's the thing. Here's what I want for the Thunder. I want all of these role players who had some struggles during times in this finals to come back next season and just be so stone cold money. I want Aaron Wiggins to be good for 12 anytime he's put in there. I want Wallace to continue to be a great defender and just score. And then I said this when things were tight, Jeremy, and I saw it. I think you could see it in their losses. a lot of dribbling and a lot of hero ball by SGA and J-Dub. And I don't mean to be downtrodden them after they won a title, but that game should have been not as close as it was. And this, when they made their runs, they were distributing the ball. They were hitting guys for easy buckets. And why they don't work at that constantly, I just don't know.
Yeah, and a lot of it had to do with the pressure they were seeing. You know, it'd take a Herculean effort to get the ball past half court, and then, well, what do we do?
Yeah.
Don't have time to get into a set. I guess I better do it myself.
Well, then it's time to work on something like that.
But not every NBA team has the depth to do that.
No.
Thank God.
But I mean, I know they lost the series. But I mean, like I said,
but they won your heart.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I saw things, and granted, I don't know. I'm probably stepping over. I'm probably stepping over what the true crux of the series was, but it just seemed like offensively that the Pacers had guys coming off the bench that just performed better than what the Thunder had. Well, now the Pacers didn't have SGA,
No, there's only one of him, thank God. But they got guys that can come off the bench and shoot the lights out of it. Was it Neesmith, Mimpard?
They're actually starters.
Yeah, okay.
But
one of them came off.
You're bringing in Matherin, who had a 27-point game in the series. He had 24 tonight. You bring in McConnell, who's just maddening. And then
he's that guy,
I mean, honestly, if Turner is any good this series, they probably
looking at their bench, the only two. Okay, Bradley had 2 points. McConnell had 16. Matherin had 24. The other 5 that played combined for 0.
Yeah, Toppin had nothing tonight, but for a fact that he had some big moments in this finals.
Ben Shepherd had 0, but he does look like Lamont Sanford. So
he looks like Michael Jackson, the point guard for Georgetown in '84. But I mean, that's not to take away from what the Thunder did. They got the job done. But I'm just saying, going forward, as teams will collect free agents, trades, whatever, like the Houston Rockets, as we might mention Kevin Durant going to H-Town. But that's where this team will have to get their improvement is get those role players more comfortable. And I'll just say this, and I don't know, maybe I shouldn't, but I hate to be a hater. But I mean, good grief. McConnell is 6'1", and he's able to get up a shot over a 7'2" guy. Our guys get the ball down low and they just start looking to kick it out. Take up a shot.
I don't know what to tell you, Chuck.
I mean, it's moot now, but
yeah, I know.
It just could have been easier, I don't know. I'm being nitpicky, and congratulations.
Extremely nitpicky.
I am. But that's what I do is the the voice of reason on this program.
Purveyor of gloom and doom.
Purveyor of gloom and doom. My wife gave me an angry emoji when I put out the their offense isn't good enough tonight to get it done. So anyways, but we do want to keep the comments rolling in, so join us in the celebration. Jeremy is what, just quarter by quarter, what was, on a scale of 1 to 5, what was your stress level at half?
Honestly, it wasn't too bad because I knew that they were adjusting everything they were doing defensively in that quarter, going from a Halliburton who's gonna shoot a lot of threes, move the ball, not going to play great defense, to McConnell, who's just a little gnat out there.
Mm-hmm.
And, the shock factor, watching the guy's Achilles explode right in front of you,
Yeah.
In the second half, they're going to have that quarter where they just come out and blow their doors off, and that's going to be that. And third quarter, they were 34-20, took a decent lead into the fourth, and it got a little dicey there for a little bit, but they were able to get to the free throw line and extend that lead back out. Never got within 4 possessions or 4 possessions in the fourth quarter. So, But, when I was counting stops, I got to 7, and there was about a 10-minute span where they didn't have a single stop.
Yeah. So I don't know. Just the drama was still there, but to get to see those fans and to get to see that team celebrate, and I think hopefully, and I know I'm asking way too much, but I would hope that even the haters would take a look at this team and say, okay, if SGA's style of play isn't your cup of tea, everybody's supposed to love defense, right?
Sure.
I mean, that's all you hear. And so why not, I don't know. I'll be interested to see the pencil neck tomorrow, what he has to say. I would imagine he's going to glaze right over it and probably.
Oh, yeah.
And here's the thing. What would his take on SGA be if the Clippers had kept him and they
Oh,
were
man.
kind of run?
Imagine it was a bull.
Yeah.
How much love there would be.
Oh, yeah. But
Shea, what, 29 points, 12 assists, 5 rebounds.
Yeah, and the 12 assists to me is just super huge.
Yep.
I think he is truly the MVP when he's also facilitating.
And while they were interviewing Hartenstein, he gave Hartenstein a little pop on the shoulder and says, "Support his head, man." He was asleep.
Yeah, little eye heart there. So they're saying SGA is the 4th player to win the MVP scoring title and an NBA title in the same season. I'll try to go back and see.
It was the last one was Shaq, and the one before that was Jordan.
Okay.
Jordan did it in 98, I think. I had it pulled up.
That's some pretty rare air.
Yeah. Yeah. If you can get if you can get up there with Michael Jordan, good Lord.
Yeah.
At 26, Jordan did it in, let's see, 2000 Shaq, 98 MJ, 96 MJ, 92 MJ.
Yeah.
91 MJ.
That's the GOAT.
But he's not the GOAT. I don't see LeBron James' name on here.
No, you won't.
Oh, and I don't see any of them with Defensive Player of the Year. And Jordan did that in 97, 98, one of those years.
Isaiah Hartenstein leads the team in rebounds with 9. They really do. They really do share the rebounds a lot, I think.
Yeah. Chet had 8. Chet also had 18 on. Did he have 18 points?
I think so.
He had 16 points on. Wait, that's Siakam. He had 18 points on 8 shots. So he was super efficient. 1 of 2 from 3, 8 rebounds, no assists, but he did have a lot. He did have several blocks.
Well, Jeremy, your team won an NBA title shooting 11 for 40 from 3.
Yeah. When you turn another team over at that prolific of a pace and you take care of the ball, great things happen. And
I mean, but that's where I'm going at with my, things got to get better. I mean, because other teams in the NBA are going to get better next year, and Thunder have to, because we're not just talking about this title, Jeremy. We're talking about the window being open and making a dynasty.
Right.
That's
You're also looking at Chet Holmgren, who is third year or second year, missed 50 games this year. The 3rd year leap is apparently a thing.
Yeah.
SGA had one. J-Dub had one. The team's going to be, it's got to be better next year with that.
Yeah. And I'm being extra critical and
Casey Wallace will have his year 3 leap too.
There you go. I mean, he and Wiggins are truly the ones that, but then also I'll say this, as Daigneault progresses as a head coach, he's got to realize,
if he learns to micromanage the game better, they will be, well, I mean, they're the champs, but they'll be super dangerous.
That's what I mean. And I'm not discrediting this title. I'm just talking about this is a team that with improvement could make a significant multi-year run.
It could be improvement top to bottom, except for Shea. Shea probably doesn't really need to improve too much, but maybe the playmaking aspect. But everyone around him, Dub can be better. He could be more consistent throughout the season.
Sure.
Chet, I mean, it's all pointing up for him. I mean, he missed 50 games this year, like I said. Biggest stage of his life today. He had 18 and 8, 6 of 8 from the field, 5 blocks. The guy could be an absolute eraser underneath the backboard.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, comments are starting to trail off, and we've got a handful of viewers. But going forward, I mean, like I said, you've stuck it with this team. You and I think one of our first conversations about sports ever back at the Willie, where you work and I used to work, was probably, I don't know if it was either about OU football or about the Thunder.
Yeah, I think the first thing I said on when we were on KSEY was I'm completely irrational about the Oklahoma City Thunder. I could be objective about everything else, but the
Yeah.
Thunder, I'm just forget it.
Well, and man,
Did you
congratulations.
see the robot GM crying on the dais?
I saw that. I saw that. Marty Wandry checking in. All right, time for football. Yeah, July 4th is around the corner, and right after that, you get some 7-on-7 stuff in the high school, and colleges will get their workouts going. So
Marty, we should have some commits start rolling in the next couple of days after the big Bo Bentley get.
Yeah, the big quarterback signing for OU, and then man, Texas is killing it in recruiting too. They got another big edge out of California actually today. But then I don't know. A lot of talent to go around. It's what you do when you get it. What you do with the talent once it gets on campus. But
that's true.
We will be probably focusing into football mode coming up in the future episodes. We also need to reach out to John Moore again, get some Rangers talk for our Rangers fans here on the program. But right now, I mean, it just, and not just the fact that they cleared it off and won the title, Jeremy, but they also, I mean, they played so well through the regular season, and they could have taken the month of March off and still had the number 1 seed in the West.
Fourth most wins, including playoffs in NBA history. Yeah. Talk about a team that has what? That's 4. Didn't the Chiefs win 3 boosts? 3 boosts? Didn't they win 3?
Yeah.
Chiefs, Thunder. Chiefs, Thunder.
Yeah, they've got 3, right?
They've got 3.
Yeah. Well, I'll give him a pass. I mean,
it's okay. He's still excited.
Chiefs and Thunder.
I don't want him to shortchange his glee.
The one thing about this title also, and I hope the fact that it was Oklahoma City and Indiana in this series, Jeremy, is the fact that Indiana had some fortunate breaks.
They did.
Tatum pulls. I mean, Lillard tears his ACL or his Achilles. Then they don't face the Celtics because
the Cavs had
Tatum.
Cavs had 3 significant players out.
Yeah, but I mean that's a team that really showed that they belong there.
Oh yeah, they were really, really good.
Yeah.
Just hit clutch shot after clutch shot and dogged defensively. Full court pressure.
Yeah. Ricky Rodriguez checking in. What's up, guys? Thunder up. That's right. Thunder up. Yeah. I mean, that's a great team. And with Carlisle at the helm, I mean, I saw their list. I mean, they've got they got to figure out if they want to try to keep Miles Turner. I'd heard that the Lakers would like to make a push for him back a long time ago in the season.
Lakers would like to make a push at any big guy.
They're probably going to make a push at SGA.
You're probably right.
Or J-Dub. 25-point, 10-assist game, NBA Finals Game 7. LeBron James, SGA Worthy, Walt Frazier, and Jerry West.
That's pretty good company.
So that 2016 title basically just kept LeBron in any conversation.
And 2016 was a long time ago, Chuck. That was the year my Cubs won the World Series.
Well, that's
feels like
true.
Forever ago.
That was when they came back on the Warriors and
when Draymond's faux pas.
When Draymond lost his mind, and so Presty's up with SVP now. So I tell you, it's a lot of fun, and it's been a great time covering these playoffs. We've really tried to up the coverage throughout all of this as well.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, when it's the only thing on right now. We can't talk about the men's college World Series. We don't alienate Connor.
I guess kudos to the LSU Tigers. They defeated the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers.
Did you watch any of that?
No.
No, I was off, so I watched the first inning. I was like, this is stupid, and turned it off. After they ejected the manager and the first base coach in the first inning, bottom of the first.
That was a joke.
Oh, my gosh.
No, I watched the Travelers today. I enjoyed watching. I was rooting for Tommy Fleetwood, but then when you see the colossal meltdown, you're like, oh, you're 16 under going into the final day, and you can't get a birdie.
Yeah.
He was even through the whole. I mean, he might have had a birdie, and I don't know. I didn't see his scores, but it was a Keegan Bradley, I guess it was one that.
You need to watch Robin Williams talking about the creation of golf.
I'll probably look that up. Well, as I mentioned, we had said we would go about 45 minutes. So we're coming up on that.
Right.
Man, Jeremy, just a heck of a run. And it's amazing to think that an NBA championship will reside in Oklahoma City.
I know. I mean, we grew up with, hey, are the 89ers going to win the PCL this year?
The Cavs.
Or the Cavs, they're going to win the Continental, the CBA.
Yeah, CBA.
And now we got our very own NBA champions. And
honestly, in a time where doing so, I mean, these two teams have changed the mindset, right?
Yeah.
Because last year it was all about Boston and their 3-pointers, just a barrage of threes. Year before that was Denver, right?
Yep.
And you got a post player that can just do anything. And the year before, and then the Giannis, the Antetokounmpo title. I mean, that was just, we've got athleticism and we can get out and defend and run. But these two teams, man, they brought a new facet to what I think NBA general managers should be considering. Right?
Depth and parity. That's what the league should be, killing itself to try to do.
Yeah. And we'll see.
I'm telling you, I saw the KD trade. I don't think it's a good move for Houston. I don't.
No.
I don't. They gave up too much young talent contributors from the 2 seed.
Jalen Green was a high lottery pick.
Yeah. Now, granted, I was in the camp that Houston was the worst 2 seed in the Western Conference Finals history.
Oh, sure.
But, I mean, that was a good young team, and you broke it up to bring in a malcontent who will probably play 40 games next year, if he plays 40 games next year.
Well, he'll have Kiwi with him. The Steven Adams will be there, and they can reminisce about their Thunder time together. But the hook on Jalen Green seemed mighty quick, and then I was so glad that when I saw the things that the Suns were wanting from the Spurs in exchange, I'm really glad that they passed on that.
It's a 1-year rental. He's going to want way too much money in that next contract for anybody to seriously consider him.
Yeah. He can be he can go home to Washington. How about that?
He can go home to the Wizards.
He can be a Bullet.
Yeah, that'd be cool if they were still the Bullets.
It would be.
It'd be even cooler if they're still the Baltimore Bullets. A little alliteration. It always sounds good coming off the tongue. Baltimore Bullets.
Well, Jeremy, are you going to make your way to Academy to pick up some Thunder gear, or have somebody go pick you some up?
Possibly. I already nabbed a cap online, so.
Oh yeah.
Got to replace this thing.
You're a good online cap shopper.
Yeah.
What's your website? What's your go-to website for that?
I grabbed it on Fanatics. It's just the first one to come across, and then I got another one coming from New Era.
Okay.
Bright orange.
Once again, congratulations to you, to the city of Oklahoma City, to Thunder Nation, to the team, to the administration. I'll be honest with you,
Say
Jeremy.
His name, Chuck. Say his name. Say his name.
Who? Clay Bennett?
Not him.
Sam Presti?
That guy.
That guy?
Best GM in the NBA, sir.
Oh, it's been known.
That's great. And let him do it his way, and it brings home a title.
But I will say this. As Stephen A. Smith said it, he, with all of the wheeling and dealing and all the great things he's done, he had to get a title.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
it was scared money don't make none, right?
Boy, that wasn't that. What? Remember those days?
Yeah. And look where we're at now.
Well,
Paul George is on his like 9th team since then.
Oh yeah,
Carmelo's out of the league. Russ is. I don't know where Russ is going to be. Opted out of Denver. He'd come run the bench next year.
Sign an easy one with OKC.
Come and run that second unit.
Can he sign a league minimum with OKC and
just don't shoot the ball in the last 5 minutes of the game, Russ? Go.
No. But no, what a run! I mean, the Memphis series, it was going to be the Thunder, but then Ja Morant goes down. Then the Denver series goes 7. It's like, oh God, can this team get it done? Then they just gentlemen sweep Minnesota. And then this one goes 7, and my God, am I glad basketball's over.
Same. My body is ready for the stress level to be lowered.
You can get to my condition every night now.
Apparently, my condition is brought on by stress, so one less stressor.
That is true. Very true. I thought about that when you said that. So, anyways, well, listen, we probably better get out of here, but man, what a playoff run, and congratulations to the Oklahoma City Thunder. I wonder if any former players showed up to.
Man, I was hoping at least Russ would be courtside.
Mr. Thunder Nick Collison.
He was there, yeah, but he's
is he there?
Office.
Was he there?
I'm sure he was. He's a front office employee.
Yeah, I guess he is. So, all right. Well, congratulations, Oklahoma City Thunder. Let's see you run it back, and maybe have to go through my Spurs to get it accomplished again next season. We shall see. But anyways, it's been a lot of fun. And once again, congratulations, Oklahoma City Thunder, winners of the Larry O'Brien Championship, 103-91, victors over the Indiana Pacers in 7 games. He's Jeremy Schroeder, ruler of the airways. I'm Chuck Ramsey, the Lawdog. Be sure and follow us on our social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter, X, and Facebook at Lawdog Sports. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Lawdog Sports. We'll upload this video to there as well. And then also our podcast on Spotify at Lawdog Sports, or the Lawdog Sports podcast. And then also you can get to all of the links on our webpage, lawdogsports.com. Thunder do it in 7 games.
OKC.
And they are NBA champions. Congratulations, Oklahoma City. We'll talk to you soon.